going to OD. And let's see how, if I get through this story time, let's see if I'm going to OD. But what's going on, rock stars? It is your girl, the leader of the rock stars, Talia Janette. Yo, I got a story time for y'all. Like, I never thought I would really do one of these on my channel, but I feel it was necessary. So before we get into this story time though, make sure you like, you comment on the video, you subscribe to the channel. Y'all, let's get into it. Let me tell y'all how I got ghosted, then unghosted, then re-ghosted again, right? First off, it's hard enough finding a date at the age of 30. That's already a problem in itself, right? Finding someone to date that meets all of your requirements and your qualifications. Let me say that, because I don't want to say I have a hard time finding a date. I have a hard time finding a date that falls into the ridiculous list of requirements that I have. Like, I have like just so many requirements now. It's crazy, but I digress. So anyway, since Corona has been a thing, I have been giving the whole online dating, like the dating apps, a go, right? So I recently stumbled across Bumble, which it's pretty cute. It's really cute. I feel actually I've been getting more responses faster on Bumble than I have on any other dating app. But let me tell you about this one guy. And it was unreal. And I had to think this out if I was really going to OD. And let's see how, if I get through this story time, let's see if I'm going to OD. But we'll see. So on Bumble, in order for you to be able to communicate with someone, the female has to, you know, initiate the conversation, which is fine and dandy because I don't like creeps in my inbox. Like I say it all the time, don't slide in my DMs. I'm really not here for the nonsense, right? Okay. So like, y'all, it's crazy, but then it's not crazy, but it is crazy, right? So this guy slides in my DMs or whatever, we start talking. Fine and dandy. It's all good. He's asking me, you know, like what I do for a living, like where, like we hit it off, like, okay, fine, whatever. Now, he asks me for my number. Now, if anybody knows me, I do not like giving out my phone number. I don't like speaking on the phone. I'm a very big, you can text me, message me, don't call me. Like, my friends know not to call me. I'm the last person to call in any emergency. Like, people know not to call me in emergencies. So I have a text-free number. So I give him the text-free number, right? We're talking. I might post some of the text here. It wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing really, you know, inappropriate. Like we were really talking. I'm like, oh, you know, he sends good morning messages.
Good morning. Good morning.
Legit, we've only been talking for a week and a half, right? So he's sending me all these good morning texts. I'm like, oh, he's like, okay, you know, he might be something to keep around, right? Has a good job, what have you. He's an electrician. He's Italian. He lives in Brooklyn. I'm like, all right, cool. He's taller than me. That's cool. I'm here for it. He asks me one night, he's like, oh, can you call me? So I'm like, oh, here we go. I tell him, all right, I'm going to call him or what have you. I call him. We were on the phone for like maybe, it was probably no more than 40 minutes. Because he had to get up for work at like 4 a.m. and I think I was either getting ready to watch wrestling or something. He was cutting into something. So I was just like, all right, we can end the conversation here. So, you know, he just went through the whole schematics of getting to know me, which I was confused. I'm like, you know, like if you're really trying to pursue somebody, you know, you're going to get to know them. All right. So I'm trying to find the point of like, he's telling me about his parents, his sister, like He's giving information when you're like really trying to get to know someone. Like you're genuinely trying to get someone. Like I'm not volunteering any information about my parents, about my siblings, unless I'm genuinely trying to get to know you. Okay, fine. So we go the next few days, we're talking, whatever. Everything's cool, right? So then I noticed one day, haven't heard from him. Like, that's weird. So I text him, I'm like, are you not talking to me? Like, no, I didn't say, are you not talking to me? I said, yo, what's up? He goes, oh, now you want to talk? You've been ghost all day. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, y'all, when I tell y'all I was never so confused, right? I was like, my mind did, like, what do you mean I went ghost, right? I'm just completely just mind blown. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, he was really like on some you ghosted me type shit. So on Bumble, you can see where a person ends a conversation with you. So he then went, unfollowed me and unfriended me on this app, right?
Look at you emotional.
So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you, bro? Like, what are you talking about? So he's like, oh, I sent you a picture and you didn't respond. So therefore, I thought you weren't interested. What? Like, y'all, and this is why I say Leos are very, very emotional. For a fire sign, they're very emotional. Everything has to revolve around them, and it's like nothing is ever their fault, right? So I'm like, what do you mean you sent me a picture? Keep in mind, we're gonna keep this thought in y'all heads that he has a text-free number from me, so he does not have my personal number. Hit or miss sometimes with text me, pictures will not go through. I have an Android, he has an iPhone. That was another issue probably. Okay. So I'm like, what do you mean I'm not interested? Like, I didn't get any text from you. Like, the last text that was sent was from me. So why would I not be interested? Y'all, when I tell y'all he's like, oh, I did that when I didn't hear from you for hours, so I assumed you weren't feeling my well thought out photo. Let's also keep in mind, I have a full-time job now. Like, I am back at work. I have things that I have to do. It was guys, it wasn't even like a full 6 hours that I didn't text him back. I think it was maybe like 2 or 3 hours, give or take. Like, he had texted me at 2:40 in the afternoon. I text him back at 8:15 that night. Keep in mind, I get off work at 3:30 some days, and I have things to do in the afternoon. I don't even think I went straight home this particular day. This might have been a physical therapy day too. I usually nap when I'm getting worked on at therapy. Like, this is totally off topic, but once they hook me up to the TENS unit, I go to sleep for 20-25 minutes. The doctor comes, he'll rub me, do whatever he got to do. I'll be asleep most of the time for this treatment. Sorry if you weren't a thought while I was getting worked on, right? Okay, anyway. So apparently, I ghosted him, right? You know, say. I was so confused. So I told him, you know what? Let's fix that communication problem. I broke my freaking cardinal #1 rule, and I gave this fool my freaking real telephone number, right? So I messaged him on WhatsApp, and I said, you know what? Here, you want to send me pictures? You can send the pictures to my WhatsApp. He goes, oh, so you gave me a fake number?
Look at you emotional.
Bro, what do it matter what number I gave you? You had a way to contact me. You had a way to call me. You had a way to text me. What do it matter how you got, what phone number you got, right? So he's mad about that now. So now he's tripping off the fact that I didn't give him my real number from the jump. Keep in mind also, this man till this day still does not know my real name. He really thinks my name is Talia. So stuck on, oh, you gave me a fake number. I'm like, bro, let's move on. Let's move on from the fact that I gave you a fake number. All right. So we start back talking or whatever. Everything is all good again. We're texting. You know, he's still sending the good morning text, whatever. Couple of days later, I noticed again now. I text him, nothing. He's apparently having the worst day at work. And again, I know how that goes. I know how when you have, you know, your off days, you don't really want to be bothered. So I wasn't pressing the issue. Like, I was like, it is what it is. Like, if you want to talk to me, you want to talk to me. If you don't, you don't. Okay, fine. He now, in turn, he's kind of still acting kind of fugazi or whatever. I don't press the issue. Christmas Eve comes. And, he's asking me, like, what are you doing for Christmas? So keep in mind, I worked Christmas Eve. So he's like, oh, you're still at work. I'm like, yeah, but, I'm getting off kind of early anyway. So, like, it didn't matter to me that I worked on Christmas Eve. I asked him, what was he doing? He was like, oh, he's going to Jersey. I'm like, oh, okay, that's dope. Have fun. I get off work. I text him. I'm like, hey, did you make your way to Jersey yet? No, I didn't hear from him Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or my birthday, which is the day after Christmas, right? So now, you know how you chalk things up to it just being the holidays. I'm like, okay, if he's with his family or whatever, I'm not going to press the issue. I believe, did I text him? I called him on my birthday. No answer, right? So the next day, I get back on the fake number, y'all. I got back on the text-free number and text him. And I'm like, if you're going ghost, you should say something. Like, you told me, oh, you weren't going to go ghost unless I did something completely outlandish. So you just went ghost or what have you. Y'all, he answered the fake number. It was right then and there. I knew it was a dub. I'm like, you know what? This is going to end bad. But let me entertain it. So I gotta pull up the text message because y'all are not going to believe the nonsense. So I said, oh, your ghosting game is mad strong. He goes, what? You ghosting? I said, how did I ghost you when I text you and I called you over the last 2 days? Y'all, this is when I knew this man had all the nerve, the gall, and the goddamn audacity. Keep in mind, remember what I said? He was doing all of this trying to get to know me nonsense, offering up all this information. Keep in mind, let me tell you something. When I start talking to someone, 9 times out of 10, if I haven't done it, one of my friends have already done it. You have been Googled. You have been searched for on social media. Your number has been plugged into some type of search engine and your address and information has been pulled up already. I had this man's full name and his phone number and his address and his location of work. Do I look that stupid to you, sir? Okay, let's play that game, right? I know this may cost me some dates, but you know what? People are crazy, especially in New York City. People are crazy, so I have to background check everybody at this point. Hence why I don't give out my real name and my real phone number, right? So you see how that works? So this fool, because that's what he became at this particular point, goes, what are your expectations with me? Are you trying to have sex anytime soon? Keep in mind, we've only been talking for a week and a half, if that. It might have even been a week and like 3 days. I was so confused. Again, mind went. So I said, you know what? You could have said that 3 days into us talking as opposed to the fake getting to know me and wasting my time that I could have been talking to somebody else. You wasted my time for a week. Granted, I was at work, but still, he was like, my time was wasted. My time was wasted when I could have been given that energy getting to know someone else genuinely, correct? Okay. So then he was feeling bold, y'all. Because it gets worse. Like, it gets worse. So he goes, yeah, I'm trying to smash. Y'all, I went off. I had to get him. I don't know what kind of little girls he's used to dealing with, or what kind of young, dumb-minded girls he's used to dealing with, but it wasn't going to work that way. I'm like, I would have respected you way more had you said this 2 days in. I respect the guys who drop their intentions as soon as we start talking, because that way I can decide if I'm going to take the L or not. So he goes, okay, but you're missing out. So now he's still trying to press the issue of sleeping with me, y'all. Like, after I just told you I'm not looking for a hookup situation, you can take that shit back to Jersey Shore if that's the case. I'm not down for that. So he goes, well, I guess it's my loss. And I'm like, absolutely it is, bro. So I'm like, you know, you missed out on a keeper, but it is what it is. So he goes, oh, still on the fake number. He goes, oh, I sent you a nice picture. I already knew what that meant. I already knew the vibe. So I'm like, humor me. Send it to my real number. Y'all.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
I don't know why he was that confident, right? He proceeds to send me not one, not two, but he sent three people. He sent 3 dick pics. Y'all, I ain't never been so mad in my life. I have I'm lying, you know what? I have been this level of mad, but it was the fact that he was that confident to send the pictures that he sent. Like, I was out here really missing out on. So I'm like, bro, I dodged a bullet. Like, if I could, I would show y'all the pictures if I really could, because what was sent to me was nothing to be bragging about. Like, I had y'all, I had to call my little and I'm cracking up as I'm telling her this. I'm like, yo, little. He had the nerve, the gall, the audacity to send the pictures that he sent. Like that, it was going to, he had something that was going to make me change my mind. I'm like, I'm looking at these pictures confused. I didn't even respond. Once he sent them pictures, I left it at that. And I proceeded to block him. I'm like, that's what you're advertising and you're offering? Yeah, you can go find some young, nonchalant, dumb girl. I'm like, we're over here too educated, too unbothered to deal with something like that, especially when I've seen better and bigger. Like, y'all, I was never so... One, I was disappointed. I was so disappointed because it was like, he was really sitting here like, yo, you're missing out. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'm missing out. Y'all, I ain't missing out on nothing but a headache and disappointment at that point. So, gentlemen, I'm going to tell y'all this. When you're on these dating sites, please be upfront of your intentions. Stop wasting people's time. Ladies, y'all got to do the same too, because a lot of y'all be out here wilding too. Y'all gotta let these men know ahead of time what your intentions are, because they are getting way too comfortable and way too confident with the tomfoolery that they are out here on these dating sites providing. So yeah, gentlemen, please, we are in 2021. Don't nobody got time to fake getting to know you for you to pull a stunt like that. And if you're gonna pull a stunt like that, make sure it's a stunt, because that was a joke. I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel very disrespected, because I've seen better. I've seen way. I'm so annoyed. Y'all, like, I saw that and I told him, I was like, yo, you're gonna make a hell of a YouTube story time. I don't know if he follows me on YouTube. Maybe I'll send him this video. I don't know. But yeah, y'all, it was bad. So if you have any dating app horror stories, please, I would love to hear somebody else's dating app stories. Put them in the comments below. Let's talk. Thank you guys for watching. As always, my darling rock stars, you guys are phenomenal. And I will catch you guys in the next one.